So President Mahama is running around going to Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, trying to trigger the regional integration, regional development and growth, bilateral relationship with all these neighboring countries to foster development within the region. And what is the Nigerian president doing? I've got information, some classified information that the president of Ghana, President Mahama, is trying to invite the Burkina Faso president and the others into the ECOWAS for reintegration and stuff like that. You see, when we have leaders that have vision, you can easily understand. But within the same space of time that these activities are going on, the Nigerian president was found going to France the same time the French president was leaving France to Egypt. What an embarrassment. Ask yourself, as the president of a country, why are you visiting a country that the president is not even in the country? What business are you doing there? The number of traveling I learned is over 30 something. In just few years you have been a president of Nigeria. And ask yourself, how many days have you visited the states of Nigeria? But rather you are flying and running away from Nigeria for personal gains. I'm thinking about winning an election in 2027 that is even forthcoming in the next 2 years. Within these few days that you've been the president of Nigeria, what have you done for the development of that country? I don't even want to talk about the development of Western Africa, because you cannot even lead the country well. You are on Nigeria well, talking about coming to lead West Africa. That's why I played with the president of Ghana. So we are the cap, because we have to give the cap to who the cap fits. It has always been Ghana leading. It's not today, it didn't start today. Kwame Nkrumah was rugged. That is why most African countries in the entire, there is no leader in Africa that does not know Kwame Nkrumah and doesn't talk about Kwame Nkrumah because of the impact the man left on ground. And I tell people, it does not matter how long you live, it does not matter how long you lead. But within the ephemeral period of time that you have been leading and living in life, what have you dropped for eternal glory? That is what matters. Your children will come to enjoy the impact you left behind. And I'm going to lead you and say, sir, please, the president of Ghana, I want to address you directly now, sir. Why do we have American military base in Ghana? Please, sir, you were competent enough, you were dogged and rugged enough to tell the American that CIA were responsible for the killing of Kwame Nkrumah. Please, sir, it is time for us to tell them the truth. Why do we have American military base in Ghana when there is no provocation whatsoever in the region? Why? GBT must be able to tell America that we do not need, we have about 5 to 6 military bases in Africa. Why do we need military bases in Africa, for crying out loud? American military bases. Why do we have them in Africa? It is time for us to tell them we don't need this, because we don't need war in Africa. We don't need war in Africa. They cannot be using our brothers to be killing us. One General Michael, whatever is your name, the dark-skinned man in the American Senate, that says that he is coming to Burkina Faso. What the hell do you want to do in Burkina Faso? What's wrong with you? Telling the world that, or telling American leaders that Ibrahim Toure is using the gold reserve to protect his presidency. Are you a Burkinabe? Are you a West African? What's wrong with you? You think that Africans are in love with their chains? We are no longer slaves. And we are no longer those slaves that are in love with their chains. We have those ones that hate chains. It is time for us to tell you the truth and tell you into your eye, look into your eyeballs and tell you that enough is enough. President of Ghana, please, sir, let us sanitize the system. Because I know America will never succeed to come to Burkina Faso without having a connection with some of our leaders. Please. We have a lot of betrayers, and we know. We know. We have a lot of betrayers. And I have been saying from previous videos, what are the penalties that we are giving to those ones who are selling out? Ibrahim Toure is a national treasury. Not that is an African treasury. Must not be touched, sir. In whatever we are going to do and campaign, we must make sure that America does not have a landing space within the West African region to execute that evil plan that is coming. We are seeing them. We know their moves. And we can tell them that they killed Thomas Sankara. They killed Patrick Lumumba. They killed Kwame Nkrumah. They killed a lot. And they caused war in Nigeria in 1966 when Iranzi was kicking against the 10%. Yes, when Iranzi was kicking 10%, the 10% issue, when you give the country a 10% kickback, that was the beginning of corruption in Nigeria. When Iranzi was fighting to kill those leaders that were involved, America and the West kicked it and make sure that there was a war that killed so many people in Nigeria. We are not even done with that. It's time for us to tell the people that even when I fight with a Ghanaian, even when I fight with a Burkina Faso, even when I fight with a Niger, outsiders are not allowed to be involved, because even blood brothers do fight. We will be able to solve our problems internally. International Criminal Court is for who? Why should a Western man be judging an African leader? When will African leader begin to judge the Western leaders? Do you know the corruption that is happening in America? The level of corruption that is happening in America? Who is judging them? The US aid has been taken off. We don't need any help from America or the West. We need to do business. We are bilateral. Let us just do business. We trade. That is fine. Nobody can be an island. Let us just trade. But it is enough time to rest for us to tell them that time that we were living on their arms is over. We can develop ourselves. As Kwame Nkrumah said, that a black man, and a typical black man, African man, is capable of leading himself or developing his own country. It is time. It's over 60 years ago that Kwame Nkrumah made that statement, and I'm telling you now, it is more real than that time. We are no longer in the dark age time. We must have a discussion, and a very, very meaningful discussion. It is quite annoying. Ibrahim Toure of Burkina Faso, nothing should happen to that man. He is the best president and the one leading the fastest growing economy in the world as we speak. Free education from primary level to university level. How many of them can do that? Building free housing. Who told you that we even need democracy in some of African countries? If we need African countries, democracy, we allow democracy. But some leaders in some African countries cannot be democracy. They can't. It's gotta be military. And if the military are developing, if the military are leading, we allow it to happen. Why not? Excuse me. I am really angry in my spirit.